back to Nearly Sane Games. I'm Neil, and today we're talking about everything going out of print. And what kind of panic should we have? Well, LSS recently announced that Welcome to Wraith is going out of print. And before that, they've announced that Arcane Rising is already out of print and Crucible of War is out of print. So, what does that mean? Are we thinking, yes, good, this is all according to plan? Tinfoil hat theories aside, what does this mean for the future of Flesh and Blood? Well, let's take a look at some of the things that people are talking about. First off, one of the points people bring is that Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising are the easiest of the sets to learn how to play. And with that, I would argue that the Blitz decks are the way to learn how to play. And I think that the talent system makes things a little bit more complicated, but the big complication with Flesh and Blood and learning how to play is understanding the balance of attacking versus blocking, and using your hand and resources in that way, and understanding the differences between the different types of resources, the different pitches of each card, and learning how to balance that. And I think that the Blitz decks do fine for teaching a player how to do that. Now, what the hero wants to do, I think, has gotten a little bit more complex, but there's still things that are very complex about the first heroes too. The way you play Dorinthia is different than the way you play Rhinar, and the amount of damage that you're going to take on a turn is going to be different if you're playing Dash versus playing Kano. And there's still a lot of complexity in those early heroes, and I don't think that the talent system really changes the complexity there. What the heroes want to do is different from hero to hero, and I think that something like Chain is, there's a lot going on there, trying to figure out exactly how he wants to play. But I still think that there's a lot of nuance. Like Rhinar is, I'm going to hit you really hard, and that's what he wants to do. But there's still a lot of complexity in deciding, how do I block with that? How do I save my resources? Which times do I want to really go full blast with Rhinar? So I think that I don't think that's necessarily the best argument that we need these early sets for new players learning how to play. I think that with the Blitz decks, it's just as complicated to learn how to play now as it was then, and I think that the Blitz decks do serve as a good starting point for new players, no matter what the set is. The next argument is deck building is tougher, and I'd like to say to that, is it though? I mean, really? Is Rhinar really that much more difficult to build than, say, Levia? Is Bravo easier to build than Oldhim? And I feel like the answer is no. Each hero kind of has a strategy that they want to go with, and there are variations on that strategy, on exactly how you want to build that hero. And coming from another game like Magic, and going over to Flesh and Blood, dealing with the complexity of how the pitch system works and how different cards have different pitch and how all of that works together, that is a huge bit of complexity. And that is, I think, the biggest struggle people are going to have when they come into this game and say, I want to build a new deck that's mine, is figuring out how this system works and how do I balance my deck with blue pitches versus red pitches, and how much defense reactions do I put in here. And I don't think that is much different from other games as well. You know, there's a lot of people that start with Magic, and I've got these big stompy green creatures that cost 7 mana that I want to play, and they look really tough. I've got this 10/10 that's going to be big and strong and is definitely going to win, and I'm going to take out lands in order to fit more of these big awesome creatures in there. And there's a lot of nuance to building decks and finding good combinations. The difficulty is that your knowledge from Magic does not exactly transfer to Flesh and Blood. You have to learn new things, and you have to learn how Flesh and Blood works to build decks. So I don't buy that these early heroes are necessary to learn how to build new decks. I think that comes with time and learning how to play the game, and net decking is fine. So not really totally in on that, on why we need these early sets. The next thing is that people say that we have cards in the first sets that need reprints. And I think that the most important cards, Tunic and Skullcap, I'm not as worried about these cards. First off, Tunic has already had a reprint in Crucible, and I know that that's out of print too, but I think that LSS has shown that they say this is a powerful card, there's a lot of decks that need this card, and we're willing to reprint it as much as necessary. And they've already shown that Skullcap is in Everfest, so we're going to see more of that as well. And hopefully that will push down the prices. But the beauty of those cards is that they are generic, and they are great for everything, and they can be put in any set. If we decide that Tunic prices start to push up to $300 level, the next set can have Spring Tunic in it, and everybody would be happy and cheer and yay. It's an excellent card. It can go in any set. They'll always have value. At some point, as kind of a rite of passage to playing a lot of decks in Flesh and Blood, is going to be getting your Skullcap, getting your Tunic. They're staples of the set, but they could go in anything. The same thing applies to the other generics that are very popular: Enlightened Strike, Art of War, and of course Command and Conquer. If they decided to put Command and Conquer as the only generic card in Tales of Aria, nobody would complain. That would be totally fine. It fits anywhere. It's always a great card. If there's not a legendary in your pack, it's pack one, pick one every time. Like, that is always going to be a powerful card and a card that you want. So again, you could reprint it anywhere and it would be fine. You could keep printing it. Every set after this, every set has a Command and Conquer. You get a Command and Conquer, you get a Command and Conquer, you get a Command and Conquer. It's fine. The current price is not fine. At $100, Command and Conquer is too expensive. We do need a reprint, but honestly, you can replace any card They can take the set after Everfest and say, we need to reprint Command and Conquer in here, dump one of the generic anything and put Command and Conquer in, and you'll be fine. So I think that they have plenty of opportunity to reprint it. So I'm less worried about that. The big thing that I am worried about are legendaries. And the reason I'm worried about that is that legendaries are going to be the hardest cards to reprint. Aside from Tunic and Skullcap that can be reprinted anywhere, legendaries are going to require, I don't know what they're going to require. They're going to be difficult because if LSS is bringing out a set with a new Guardian, they're going to want to give that Guardian a new piece of legendary equipment. But historically, they've not been replacing the legendary equipment of earlier sets. Skullbone Crosswrap is probably the only legendary that has been replaced from the initial set of heroes. New Horizon is a pretty good case, pretty good replacement in almost all cases if you're running a Ranger. It's not to say it is absolutely for all cases, but I think that New Horizon is going to be the general de facto legendary equipment piece for Rangers moving forward. That said, when a new hero comes out, the first thing that people are looking at is the first set of legendary equipment. And if a new Guardian came out tomorrow, they're going to want to get tectonic plating for that Guardian. And you're going to have all these new people, they're going to start building a new Guardian, and that's going to put pressure on tectonic plating and drive the price up. But we have no new supply of tectonic plating, so there's nothing there to bring the price back down. And as we get new players, there are new players that are going to say, I want to build Bravo, and they're going to want to buy a tectonic plating. There's going to be people that want to say, I want to build Oldhim, and they're going to want a tectonic plating. And these equipment that are built for the generic heroes are built in a way that they are good generically for those heroes, for that hero class. So when I'm building my Bravo deck, or my Bolton deck, I need Braveforge bracers. And the new equipment is not serving as that replacement for the old equipment. So you don't have people that are looking for necessarily the Ram's Head for their Bravo decks as Oldhim players are looking for the Ram's Head. That goes with the new strategy that doesn't necessarily go with the old strategy, but the old strategy is generic and does work with the new stuff. So I think that's a big problem, and that's going to put pressure on the prices of those old equipment. So if a new Ninja comes out, you're going to want to get a Mask of Momentum, and new players that are coming in that want to play Katsu are going to want a Mask of Momentum, or Iron. They need to have that mask, and that's going to bring the price of these things up, and we don't have new equipment that's taking the pressure off of these prices. And it's difficult to build to reprint that equipment. Are you going to tell me that you're going to print a new Guardian and have tectonic plating as their legendary equipment? That's going to take some of the steam out of your new set. You're going to need that new equipment to be something special, something new, something different. Nobody wants Valiant Dynamo for any of their warriors. So if these new legendary equipments are not replacing the old ones, but the old ones are still needed for new heroes, that's going to be a big problem. So what's the solution for these new heroes? Anything. anything at all? I'm not sure. But if you're looking forward to new heroes, I would make sure that you're working on picking up their old equipment, because so far Legend Story Studios has not shown that they are replacing things. So if you're looking forward to a new mechanologist, you're going to want Technofoundry art. If you're looking forward to a new wizard, you're going to probably want the Stormstriders. It's not true in every case, but in a lot of the cases, the new heroes like to have the old equipment. And I think that with these out-of-print announcements, the price of these are just going to go up, and they're going to be hard to reprint, and so you're going to create this price war that is just going to push these cards higher. Where does that leave us? I don't know. And but I do know if you don't have these old legendary equipment, now might be the time to pick them up. So until next time, I'm Neil, and this has been Nearly Sane Games.